Nega-chin. The Nega-chin is the opposite of the Crimson Chin from a Nega universe version of the Crimson Chin's world. He is a parody version of Venom, Bizarro, Cyborg Superman, and Reverse Flash from Spider-Man, Superman, and The Flash respectively. Character: Nega-chin is the Crimson Chin's evil-doing twin from a parallel universe. Unlike most other villains that have appeared in the Fairly Odd Parents, the Nega-chin is especially capable and has succeeded in tricking both the Crimson Chin and Timmy multiple times throughout the series. Description: the Nega-chin looks almost exactly like the Crimson Chin, except with a dark gray suit and an anti-chin symbol on his chin. The background's blue-violet and the C itself is blue and crossed out. His teeth are jagged and sharp. The spike on his head has points, and he has red eyes in contrast to the Crimson Chin's yellow eyes. Background: the Nega-chin was introduced in the episode The Crimson Chin Meets Mighty Mom and Dino Dad, and is known to be the Crimson Chin's evil twin from a parallel universe. He's just as strong, fast, and good-looking as the original. He switched places with the real Crimson Chin just before Timmy Turner wished to exit the comic book, and back in his room. While trying to keep his parents busy, Timmy told Cosmo and Wanda to keep the Chin occupied with whatever he wants, including granting him wishes, not knowing that they've actually granted an evil supervillain ability to make wishes. In doing so, he makes it so Timmy can't wish him back to the comics. He brings the other supervillains out from the comics so they can wreak havoc over Dimmsdale, and to top it off, prevents Timmy from using his magic to clean up his room, to which Timmy replies, "That fiend." While the Nega-chin and the other supervillains are destroying the town, Timmy wishes to bring back Mighty Mom and Dino Dad, heroes, to take on the horde of supervillains as a great battle took place. However, the Nega-chin got the upper hand as he used his Nega powers to strip Timmy's parents of their power, rendering them helpless. Just before he could finish them off, Timmy manages to save them by not just bringing out the real Crimson Chin, but also all of the other Crimson Chins from the past decades, from the 30s to the new millennium Crimson Chin. With the force and might of the many Crimson Chins and Timmy as Cleft the Boy Chin Wonder, they defeat the Nega-chin. With no other options, the Nega-chin wished himself and his fellow supervillains back into the comic book, swearing revenge on everyone, though the Crimson Chin claimed that he can't swear on it since only the 80s Chin can swear. It wasn't until the big superhero wish that he planned his revenge from the last time they fought. He secretly sent Short Fuse to the real world to let him know when the world became exactly like the comic book world so he could make a comeback and plan his revenge. When Timmy wished the world would be like a comic book full of superheroes due to his frustration of real-life heroes not helping him when he needed, Short Fuse quickly gets the news back to Nega-chin, finding the wait surprisingly short. During Timmy's fight with his enemies taking the form of supervillains disguised as the Crimson Chin, he sends the three of his lair, and afterwards he offers a deal to team up with them to take down Timmy, as he knows the secret to his powers in the form of his fairies as Ace the Chin Hound and Clefto. Later, the trap was set as the supervillains greatly overpowered the kids as superheroes, including Cleft. Then Cleft tried to wish away all the superheroes and villains, but the Nega-chin counters the wish by stopping Cleft after he said superheroes. Forced to be literal in wish granting, he disguised Cosmo and Wanda grants... Oh my god, this is written terribly. The disguised Cosmo and Wanda grants the wish, wishing away all superheroes, taking away their powers and leaving the Earth defenseless to supervillains. Triumphant, the Nega-chin mocks Timmy and kidnaps his fairies, rendering them powerless. Later on, the Nega-chin was overconfident on his victory, and he didn't count on Timmy and the Crimson Chin in his alter ego. And the Crimson Chin in his alter ego, Charles Hampton Indigo, and the other kids and ordinary everyday heroes teaming up to take them on. Believing they'll win in a matter of seconds, the other villains battle the remaining heroes while the Nega-chin takes an evil shower. When the Nega-chin comes out and complains that they're being no hot water, he's surprised to see that regular people actually defeated the other villains. Angered, he attempted to blast them with his Nega vision, but he accidentally breaks Ace and Klepto free from their prison. Timmy then quickly wishes the world back to normal. No one from his town would remember what happened, and that Nega-chin would be placed back in the comic. They do so, and in addition to this, the Crimson Chin regains his superpowers. Bitter about his defeat, Nega-chin wonders why he keeps losing despite all what he did. Timmy informs him that it's all the Crimson Chin author's doing, since he does write the story. So the Nega-chin plans to take down the author himself to finally win as he manages to escape. The episode ends with the Nega-chin finding the author in the real world and beating him to a pulp. It is likely that this failed as well, since he is not shown triumphing over the Crimson Chin. The Nega-chin was last seen as a cameo in the Jerkinators, as he uses a newly found Scepter of Nega-Negatude, teaming up with other Crimson Chin villains and defeating the Crimson Chin. But with the might of Cleft and Jimmy Neutron as Brain Boy, he was easily defeated. Powers and abilities. Nega-chin is the exact opposite of Crimson Chin, therefore he has almost all his abilities, such as superhuman strength, superhuman stamina, superhuman durability, superhuman speed, agility, and reflexes, accelerated healing factor, superhuman leaping ability, flight, heat vision, x-ray vision, self-awareness. As a result of Timmy's wish, he's aware that he is fictional and he is a comic book character. And finally, Nega vision. It is the opposite of Crimson Chin's power pupils. He is able to drain Mighty Mom and Dino Dad of their powers and returning them to Mr. and Mrs. Turner. It is also powerful enough to destroy a person or an anti-magic bubble. See also Crimson Chin. This has been a character guide of the Nega-chin from the Fairly Odd Parents Wiki.